What's up, brother? Let me pull up your email here. I was just looking at it. Hey, I love your channel. So, thank you. We were hoping you could help us or me out. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 3 years now. Just dating? She just got offered a major promotion that will require her to move far away, 3-hour flight from where we live now. I can't move with her, at least not for the next year, due to my job. I am so worried about trying long distance. We both are, which is why we decided to reach out to you. How can we upkeep our love, communication, as well as sex life being so far away from each other? Any tips or ideas welcome. Thank you, Richard and Maya, or Mia, depending on how she pronounces it. Well, Richard and Maya, particularly you, Richard. Now, I'm not here to give you the blue-pilled answer. We keep it red over here, so I've got to be 100% honest with you. And Mia, if you're watching this too, or Maya, however you pronounce your name. Now, at some point, Mrs. Maya was on the hot seat, and she had to make a decision. What is more important, her career or her relationship? And it sounds to me like she chose her career. That's a red pill. That's not even negotiable. I'm not trying to, give you a doom and gloom story here. I'm just being honest with you. That decision was put in front of her, and that's what she made. Now, it sounds like in your question you already understand that physical intimacy is the glue that holds a relationship together. And, it seems pretty obvious that you know that because you asked about keeping up your sex life and keeping up your, what was it said here? What did it say here? Keeping up your love, communication, as well as sex life. Okay. Here's what you really need to understand. Now, number one, your girlfriend already chose her career over her relationship. Her career over your love life. Her career over sex with you. At least over the course of the next year. And to be honest, I don't know if that's a bad decision or a good decision. Me personally, I would choose my job over my relationship, especially if I was in my early 20s still or mid 20s. Now, the real question is, how bad do you guys want it? Now, what I mean by that is, are you willing to spend the money to travel back and forth, to fly back and forth, maybe 1 week you can fly to see her, 2 weeks later she can fly to see you. If you are willing to do that, and you're willing to travel, you're willing to spend the money to constantly fly back and forth every couple of weeks, you shouldn't have a problem keeping up with this. But if you're not willing to find a way to keep the physical intimacy, which is the glue that's going to hold your relationship together, then Maya or Mia will ultimately seek sexual and non-sexual attention from the opposite sex. And that's just a fact. That's another red pill. As human beings, we need that. We need physical intimacy. And Richard, you're going to need that as well. And we are biologically, I should say psychologically designed to get over our losses fairly quickly. It doesn't take long for us to heal, to get over a grieving process. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be the end of a relationship, whatever it may be. But psychologically, your brain is going to handle this long-term or long-distance relationship as a loss. You're going to wake up. You're going to realize your loved one isn't here with you. And you are going to go through the grieving process. That's just the way that it works. And throughout time, your body will tell you to get out there and have a good time and meet new people and socialize. And you will meet new people. And inevitably, you will hook up with new people. You will have sex with new people. You will enjoy your life and you will move on, because that's what happens in long distance relationships. A long distance relationship is almost like the friend zone. Okay? And when you're in the friend zone, what this means is you are loyal to that person. You reserve your loyalty to that person. You do things for that person as if you were that person's boyfriend, but you don't have sex with that person. And ultimately, that is a terrible place to be in. It's a very bizarre concept, and it shouldn't exist. And that's what happens when you're in a long distance relationship. So the only way to keep a healthy relationship healthy is to maintain physical intimacy. So really, that's the only tip, and the only chance for your relationship's survival is to work something out to where you can arrange to see one another minimum every 2 weeks. If you don't, psychologically, you will enter the grieving process, the closure process, and you will move on and start seeing new people, which right now might sound like a bad thing, but a year from now it won't sound like such a bad thing. And I don't mean to give you bad news here. What I'm trying to do here is help you realize whether or not it's going to be worth it. I don't know what your age is. I wish you would have put that on there. If you're in your early 20s, you'll get over each other very quickly and you will happily move on. Love is not a magical force that holds people together. Consistency in terms of physical intimacy is what keeps people together. So, that's the decision that you have now. And like I said, the female counterpart of this relationship has already made the decision that the career is more important than the physical intimacy. That gluing herself to her career is more important than the glue that holds your relationship together. That's a bitter red pill to swallow, but it's the truth. So, ultimately, what typically happens in this situation, and I don't mean to go on and on, I'm trying to be as brief and as concise as possible right here, but she's already made the decision that the career was more important. And ultimately what happens here is, if the male really wants to continue pursuing this relationship, he's the one that's going to have to bend over backwards. He's the one that's going to have to fly out to see her. He's the one that's going to have to make a transition and find a way to move where she's moving to. And ultimately, that's not a good move for a relationship. The man is supposed to be the leader. The woman is supposed to follow the man. In a healthy relationship, that's the way that it works, historically and currently. So, this is a very unhealthy place for your relationship to be in. And the only answer, the only solution is both of you have to be willing to travel back and forth to see one another, and you have to have a plan within the next year, max, to find a way to move back in with one another. Preferably, it would include her moving back to where you're at, because if you are to move where she goes, you're going to be starting out new, you're going to look weak, she's going to be the leader, the king of the household that wears the pants. And that there's no bigger turnoff to a woman than a man that's a follower, a man that follows her lead. So, again, not an easy position for you to be in, but it is possible. It's possible. You both will have to be flexible. And if one of you refuses to be flexible, if she's not willing to travel back once a month, just for a weekend, once a month, travel back to the town that you're living in to see you, then that means that she's choosing her new life over her old life that had you in it. The medium is the message, and it's important that you understand that. And again, I'm sorry this wasn't the blue-pilled answer that you would have liked. It was more of a red-pilled answer. And I hope things work out well for you. I hope you can find a way to achieve happiness, whether you stay in this relationship or not. And I'm sure you will be just fine regardless of whatever happens over the course of the next year. You will find a way to achieve happiness once again, whether it's in this relationship or a new relationship or being single and enjoying your life. I guess that's the only answer that I have for you, and it's the only answer for you. Again, I hope things work out well for you, and I hope this video was somewhat informative, and I'll be rooting for you. Feel free to reach out to me at thelfashow@gmail.com if you want to follow up and let me know what's going on and we can shoot the shit. LFA signing out.